All right, everybody, listen up. I'm gonna be very quite frank. I haven't even got my key light on for this podcast, but look, you're watching this. We lost yesterday, but there are many other questions, much more questions about this team than, and we already been through a couple games. We're gonna talk about it tonight. We're gonna air out our grievances. We're gonna air out much things that we have seen through the first 8 weeks of this season, including last night game, and what's in store for the Washington Commanders, Dan Quinn, Jada Daniels, and AP. I know a lot of people have turned a little bit sour on AP. This is the Only the Huddle podcast, and we're coming to you live.
I know it looks like CeeLo is at a hotel, but he disappeared. I don't know exactly where he is. But Breeze, what's good, man?
What's good?
There you go.
Good. Is he back? Is he still
He
frozen?
trying to slide around the camera. Welcome back to Owning the Huddle podcast. Brother Deuce is here. He's here to defend his O-line. I'm getting sick and tired of you dudes and this fan base talking about my O-line. We gonna handle this today.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Owning the Huddle podcast. It's your favorite crew with the preview game and also post games and reaction, initial analysis, everything you need to see up here. Deuce is going to be out for the night, handling some things. We're going to keep him in prayer, most definitely. But we also need to keep in prayer for this fan base because we're sitting here at 3-5, and the roof is on fire. The sky is falling. I think we've seen a couple of meteorites already hit FedEx Field or Northwest Stadium for some who still want to call it Northwest Stadium.
It feel like FedEx Field right now.
But all right, let's. I don't even know how to start this. I honestly don't know how to start this, y'all.
I mean, air it out. Where you want to start?
Okay, so first of all, let's start off with the game. Let's start off with the game, right?
Okay.
The game went as expected. The second half. The second half of the game went as expected. The first half caught me pleasantly by surprise of how competitive and locked in the team was. If by chance, I would have to say that's probably the first time this year, in my opinion, not towards an inferior opponent or an opponent that they are better than, but when it came matching up with a team, energy for energy, a Super Bowl contender, they came out the gate swinging defensively, especially with all the new personnel moves they made over the week. We seen McGee playing in the spot that Luvu was in. Luvu was a stand-up edge rusher. They showed a lot more 3-4 looks. Tyler Owens was getting some snaps. They were rotating the safeties a lot. You've seen a lot of Savage, Reeves and Quan Martin rotating all over the place. So one was playing single high every now and then. The other one, a couple guys were in the box. This game would have looked so much better if we had capitalized on the opportunities that this defense suddenly just said, "Okay, we're gonna get some things straight." We decided we're gonna get 2 turnovers, one of them by Marshawn Lattimore. It's the first big play he ever has done here since he's been here. And Bobby Wagner has caught an interception, which was a deflection. But you get 2 turnovers in the first half against Patrick Mahomes. You do not capitalize on none of that. Not even a field goal, none whatsoever. You go for a full 4th down multiple times, which I love the aggressiveness because everybody wasn't picking you to win. So, hey, you pulled the swing. That's what we saw last year with this team. They were being the hunter, not the hunted.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, man, I've seen a lot of takes. I've seen a lot of memes. I'm not crashing out, but I am frustrated. I am frustrated because now I'm looking at, and it's not like we didn't know and didn't acknowledge that this roster was missing key components. Then it's teams such as the Lions and the Philadelphia Eagles and many other teams that are competing in the NFC. But, and this will be the other conversation later on in the show. And I know a lot of people are going to ask this. Why didn't we do enough? That will be the question we'll ask. But a lot of stuff has been showing up consistently for 8 weeks. It is what it is when it comes to the defense. Did it have some flashes of being somewhat compatible at some times? Yes, but overall, no. It was literally until the dam breaks, that's when everything is going out this way. And that's all I have to say.
First of all, is my connection good? Because I think my thing might be a little choppy. I don't know.
Slightly choppy.
Okay, I'll work on it. Well, matter of fact, CeeLo, go ahead. I'll be right back.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, I think I'm probably speaking to the preaching to the choir a little bit, but to me, this wasn't a simple this specific game. Just talking about last night's game, it wasn't just offense or defense or special teams. I think I don't know what more you could have asked out of Marcus Mariota. If you want to critique him, I mean that's fine. I think as a backup, he was outstanding. Got a week's worth of practice. And once he got the nod, he got 2 of his guys back. Offensive line, I know they lost Tunsil, but from just before looking at the tape, they look pretty good. I read a stat earlier today that Chris Jones had 0 pressures. 0 pressures. First time I think since 2021 is if that quote was accurate. That's I don't know what more you can ask out of that particular position group as well as Marcus. So the defense, that's been the story this year between injury, execution, communication, all the words you can think of when you word salad. they've been going through this since 2024, and I know that's not a long time, right? It's only been what 25 games or something like that. But they turned this roster around a little bit on the defensive side in terms of the front seven or front four rotation, and they added Trey Amos in the back end. They put Quan in the back in the free safety role. It's just been frustrating. They did a yeoman's work in that first half. It was excellent. They were punching them, and it was like a punt. It was going back and forth. Both offense, defense was really going at it. Both defenses were really going at it. They stopped us on a couple fourth downs. We stopped them. We turned the ball over. Really a good job in the first half. And then you have arguably, and y'all can argue this point, whatever, arguably at least the best quarterback this game has ever seen. Period. You got to score points. So all that good stuff I said about the offense, nothing's changed. That's just what it is. Like, you can't hold them down forever. He's already given up. He's before this game, he had two interceptions. After the game, he had 4. You did your job, right? But we just couldn't get the ball in the end zone. We tried fourth down. We went to fourth down. We went fourth down. I think at one point we went for 4th and 6, like early. Stuff like that. So props to Cliff and DQ for being aggressive. They knew they had to score points. Like, that was clear. They knew that, but we just couldn't do it. That's a good. All that saying all that. That's a good defense. I want to say they were top 10 going into that game last night. So it wasn't like we were going against a bad defense, good offense kind of thing. That's a complete team with their weapons back, etc. So just focusing on that team, is exactly how I expected. We got a little bit of momentum in that first half, but the dam broke, to DT's point, because we couldn't score. Just couldn't score. And I think we had 67 yards in the second half, and we had the ball for 8 minutes.
Oh my God.
Y'all know that. I think what's the NFL quarter? Is it 12 minutes a quarter, 15 minutes? I can't remember. 15 minutes a quarter. So that's 30 minutes of football. We only had the ball for 8 minutes. So second half. So that's just what it is, man. That's a good football team. Got to score, didn't score. And then the dam broke for defense. It went right back to where we thought it would be, which I kind of expected that anyway. So I can't be completely. They just couldn't hold it in for a full 60 minutes. So yeah.
Yeah. Just reading a couple of comments.
We still good. Mitch is the
yes,
ultimate.
Kansas City is one of the top teams in not only the AFC but in the NFL.
And they're healthy.
And they got healthy at the right time.
Minus, I know Josh was going through some stuff, but they're even the backup to Josh. I mean, he's doing his thing, So the other thing that bothers me is I mean, just look at it. This is without even without Jaden, this was by far probably so far the worst performance offense so far under Cliff Kingsbury. The first time we have not scored anything close to 18 to 20 plus points since the 2023 season, which says a lot. Yeah.
But there also brings the other question, which I also will address. But Breeze is back up here. We're gonna let Breeze give his initial reaction to the games.
Apologies for the technical difficulties. I'm not sure what I missed, but am I the only person who just kind of felt like it was like a ticking time bomb like waiting for the floodgates to get blown up. Like, every time the defense got to stop it, or the turnover, and the offense got the ball, like, yo, y'all got to do something. Y'all have to do something because eventually these floodgates are going to open. And as you were about to say, DT, like this is the worst I've seen the offense look. Like, they just couldn't get nothing. They kept running screens that were ineffective. They couldn't run the ball at all. You got offensive offensive linemen blowing blocking assignments left and right. Receivers dropping the ball. Zach Ertz, if Zach Ertz fall down an inch away from the first down marker one more time, like the minute he see people, he just fall. Like I don't understand what. Listen, Marshawn Lattimore actually looked like the whole secondary for the most part looked like an NFL secondary last night. And then the linebacker said, "Yeah, no, we don't feel like doing it tonight." Bobby, I love, like, we all love Bobby. We all know who Bobby has been, is what Bobby is. We all understand. They got to do something. Because even it's to the point now in coverage when even when Bobby does his job and does exactly what he's supposed to do, he's still 4 steps behind whoever the closest man is. Bobby, I love you. You are, if not first ballot, very early in your eligibility, you will probably be a Hall of Famer. But it's just not there right now. It's not there anymore. Not right now. It's not there anymore. I was sitting there. We went into the game. We all knew what the inevitable was, what that was. We all knew this going into the game. And we sat there, and they looked like the NFL team, a competent NFL team for a quarter and a half, 2 quarters, maybe even 2.5 quarters. And then all of a sudden, boom. And it's not like the Chiefs were even beating us with, like, really, for the most part, with, like, design plays. It was still like a couple blown coverages. It was crossing routes in front of Bobby Wagner, who can't cover. And then it was the secondary doing their job, covering for 4-5 seconds, and then Travis Kelce and was that Noah Gray leaking out and catching, flat routes for running for 17 yards. It was I don't know, man. I knew what was going to happen, but the way it happened, I'm still just thrown off and irritated by it, to be honest with you. Just, I'm sorry if I repeated anything y'all said, but yeah, I had to get that out of my system.
Nah, you good.
No, that's a good point.
I just
Trail.
Man, he not wrong though, bro.
So, question about Bobby: was he playing 100% of the snaps in LA for the Rams and in his second stint in Seattle before he got to us? I'm trying to remember.
The Rams, I don't remember I
gotta look it up.
I feel like no, but for some reason they just don't sound right though.
Yeah, no.
That was the year that they went to the Super Bowl, right? With
the Rams.
No. With the Rams, no.
I think it was the year after.
Year after? Okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense, I guess. That might be why I don't remember him playing in the Super Bowl. Yeah, I don't know. We'd have to look that up, but
the crazy thing about this game was the corners weren't really getting picked on. It was just really like the middle of the field was just being torched every single key moment. Or if Patrick Mahomes had extended play, he was attacking the middle of the field. And I'm just really lost at words for how the defense has been looking like. I mean,
my bad. For what, not to cut you off, but for what it's worth, in LA, for all the games he was eligible for between LA and Seattle combined, he started all but one game. So I don't know if he was playing every snap, but he still started every game.
Yeah, I'm looking at snap count. He played 100% of the snaps in LA,
God.
and he played 100% of the snaps in Seattle. Second stint, 2023. So he's been playing 100% of the snaps probably for the last, healthy when he's healthy, last 4, 5, 6 years.
Jeez, they played 100% of snaps over there?
Yeah, man. I was expecting like 75%, 80% in LA for some reason, and that's just me just being like making stuff up in my head. But he
Oh,
legit was
we
playing.
a wild family, bro. There ain't no way. But mm, let's talk about the concerns a little bit with the offense. So we do get Terry. We did get Debo back. Now, how healthy they were, we're not sure. But I still felt like this game was still the same game plan for the Kansas City Chiefs defense. Running backs had 10 carries for 27 yards. So that's literally 2 yards a carry. RPO game was not going to work. Play action was not going to work. Your best rusher was Mariota. And
28, 29?
the thing like 28, 29 yards. But the wide receiver room, even though this wide receiver room has not played all together, especially the starters,
Mm-hmm.
it is absolutely well known now to me and to everybody that this team still needs another outside threat that can dictate coverages, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And for the record, I love the Debo trade. I think he's a good player. But even then, I'm still not seeing the explosiveness overall.
I think part of that can be attributed to his heel or whatever the injury is, because we kind of did see flashes of it, earlier in the season. Like he seems to have lost whatever explosiveness he showed earlier in the season. He doesn't seem to have it right now, and that could be easily attributed to the injury. But whatever it is, he's not scaring anybody. Like nobody's going into the game that I can see. Deuce always says you can't watch the film and the game at the same time. But when I just watch the game in real time, I don't see people being afraid of Debo Samuel. And furthermore, the way that they use him now, it's pretty much exclusively like slants, you know, drag route. Like it's very short, intermediate stuff. I mean, screens, very short, intermediate stuff. He's not, we saw earlier, like I believe he caught like a few deeper passes. Like he's not even getting that now. Which maybe he can't get there because of his heel, but he's not scaring anybody. No pun intended. Perry, certainly no pun intended. Is not, you know, Perry is the most threatening receiver on this team by far, but right now he's not scaring anybody. And then you're looking at Luke McCaffrey, Jalen Lane, who we definitely want to talk about. Chris Moore and the rest of them. That's what they are. It's the rest of them. Like there's nobody in the passing game. Even if you look at tight ends, there's nobody in our passing game that a defensive coordinator I think would look at and be like, "Ooh, we got to stop him." Like, and that's the gift and the curse with having a quarterback. I don't want to say similar, but from a play calling standpoint, you don't have to change much from Marcus to Jayden because they have comparable skill sets as far as being able to run and all that kind of stuff. So you don't have to. A team doesn't have to plan any differently. You know what I mean? Like they can go into the game with the exact same game plan and not change anything. So Something gotta get tweaked or fixed with that.
Yeah, we definitely need another guy for sure. Even if, to me, another guy can be in any position. I know wide receiver is the obvious one,
Mm.
but I mean, what if he had a stud at tight end? What if he had a stud at running back that can catch the ball out of the backfield? Like somebody that just takes pressure, off the rest of the offense, that they have to be accounted for. Right now, that's why they're loading the box. I mean, I looked at a brief few plays from all 22. I mean, they had 8-9 in the box the entire night. They were I guess, run blitzing their corners. And so the corners were coming down to stop the run. They were committed to the run because they weren't afraid of nobody. And so you need somebody on that football field to give up, especially when Jaden's not playing, but even with him on the field, somebody give up, give some attention to outside of Terry and balance that out a little bit. And that's a healthy Terry, by the way.
I
So
was my fault.
that's it. I just, you said it already, Breeze. I mean, like, I just, a younger Zach Ertz or a dynamic running back that really can do it all. We just don't have that kind of talent right now. It's truly a all hands on deck effort every
I
week.
mean, if you look at the totality of the offense right now, if Jaden is not on the field, who as a defensive coordinator or even a defensive player, who's your threat right now? If you look at this offense, look at the offense that played last night. Jaden is not on the field. Harry, in all likelihood, is playing hurt, right? Debo, we know, is playing hurt. Who's your threat right now? Like McNichols, was the best passing option last night, and he was all check downs and screens. I mean, I know Terry had the touchdown and the sideline catch, but Debo had, I believe, 11 yards. If I'm not mistaken, all of that was on the first or second drive. All right, we know what Zach Ertz does whenever anybody gets close to him, he literally collapses to the ground. Ben Sinnott runs like he's older than Zach Ertz. John Bates is not a threat with the ball in his hands. JCM, Ja'Cory, I said on Twitter, I got to be a man of my word. I said until Ja'Cory Krosky runs for at least 50 yards in another game, he's going to beat Ja'Cory until further notice. There's no threat on the opposite side of the ball. I hate to say it, but like, your most threatening person last night was Jeremy McNichols and Luke McCaffrey. Outside of Terry's 2 big catches.
Insane.
So do y'all? All right, knowing we know now, you have a healthy Terry and a healthy Debo. You have a healthy Jaden, and think about the offense. Everyone else in the offense, I think, is healthy. I guess. Running back, that guy, Eckler. Other than him, do y'all feel like that's a solid offense when healthy? Healthy Jaden, healthy Terry, healthy Debo, and now you know what Luke gives you. Now you know what Jaden Lane gives you. Now you know where Zach Ertz is. We have an offensive line. Do you feel like that would have been enough to keep up with some of these teams we played the last couple of weeks?
That's a good question.
Keep up with, yes. Beat, I don't know. Keep up with for sure. Because when they had them versus the Chargers, they were fine. When they had them against the Giants, they were fine. But for whatever reason, I get it. Like, they're hurt. Like, I understand. But at full strength, yes, they are enough to compete and keep up with. The problem is, I think they were clearly built with last year happening in mind, which is nobody gets hurt. And not only did one domino fall, they all got kicked over. All of them got kicked over. and it's to the point that we're playing backups across the board. Also, I mean, Debo and Terry are back now, but again, they're both hurt right now. Both playing hurt. So, yeah, keep up with. Yes, I don't know if they're enough to win.
Yeah.
Long day, bro.
Fully healthy, I think you beat Chicago. I think you can beat Chicago and
Atlanta or Green Bay or
Green Bay. No, they just weren't. Nah, not Green Bay.
Green Bay just overall dominated us. I think we could have put up a better shot against Atlanta.
Yeah. I think we could have played Dallas tougher. I know that sounds crazy because they beat us by 20-some points, but I think we could have played Dallas tougher with like the full complement of our offense. Like the two games we got beat in. Like I know the Cowboys scored. I get it. Throw that out. But because I think,
we didn't have anybody.
Yeah.
They were all hurt.
We've been beaten, like flat out beaten twice. That was last night and against Green Bay.
Cowboys. Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
No, I think we could have competed with Dallas with everybody healthy, with the full complement of players. We had the full complement against Green Bay, got smoked, and then we had a foolish complement of players yesterday. There's the Eckler's out, Brown's out, but you had Terry, you had Debo. Jaden was not there, understood, but yeah, man.
Fried, bro.
Why do they keep Chris Moore? I know you probably skipped his.
I ain't skipped it. I mean, like we
You got dirt on somebody. That's.
I mean, my question of I don't know who else. Yeah, I don't know who else. He was the fifth receiver we were trying to figure out. It was Debo, Terry, Jalen Lane, Luke, and he was the fifth guy, and he actually played. I was looking at the snap count right here. He played more snaps. He's played more snaps than Terry.
Yeah, well, Terry missed. Oh, you mean last night?
Last night.
Yeah.
Just last night.
Yo, when I missed the first 3 or 4 plays of the game. I didn't even remember seeing Terry for the first few plays I watched the game. I was like, yo, did I miss something? Like, is he not playing? Like I was, yeah.
Yeah, he only they took him out in a lot of third down situations. I don't know if y'all caught that.
I don't.
No, I seen it when y'all were talking in the chat, and I mean, I kind of knew they were going to do that anyway, even before the game. Like he hasn't played in 4 weeks, and a quad is not just an injury is like automatically going to heal. Like it's going to take time. Like the time frame for the quad was like 4 to 6 weeks, and he missed 4 games, so that's like 4 weeks.
Yeah, well, I think he went 2 weeks without knowing what it fully was.
Chris Moore had 20. He had 2 less snaps than Terry, not more. 2 less snaps.
Jesus.
I figured Terry would be on a pitch count, but I figured it would be like a situational thing. Like I would think like the 3rd and 5, the 4th and 1. Some of these plays just come to mind. Like, Terry was on the field for 4th and 1. I think he ran the wrong route. We'll figure it out later date. But the 3rd and 5 play in the I want to say 3rd quarter, maybe early in the 4th quarter, he wasn't on the field, and I'm like, unless his quad was bothering him, I understand. But if this is before his quad kind of tightened up, I think you got to have Terry on the field in those moments. Even if he's just meant to be a decoy, you kind of have to have some kind of threat on the field. As we saw, they were stacking the box. Like, I dare you to have Jalen Lane beat us over top. Please.
Shout out to Anthony Reinhardt. He has this like snap count. And he breaks down like how many snaps, when what drive the dude started, and a lot of information. So he did say that Terry left the game the 3rd quarter, 1:59 left. So towards the end of the 3rd quarter, he left the game for good.
That sounds accurate. That was when I didn't see it like that. And then like in the 4th quarter, they started talking about Terry and his quad.
Then Tunsil left He left and I think came back, tried to push it. He couldn't push it. He left game.
You know, did,
He did play, but I think he tweaked it again when he. Oh, I think at
Yeah.
halftime it tightened back up.
Yeah.
so do y'all think that happened during pregame? Is the reason why they run Coleman up? Like the injury happened pregame? He must have felt something.
That
Or
was
they knew
my.
Well, he has to be. That would have had to happen like early, like initial pregame because they have to be brought up by a certain amount of. I mean, made active or whatever by a certain time.
Mm-hmm.
So if he
So he
did
got
tweak it,
He
go ahead,
got a
sir.
veteran's rest, I think. Over the week. Didn't say it didn't have an injury designation. So if we take him by the word, it had to have happened like late, or like you said, DT, early in pre-game warm-ups, maybe on Saturday night, something like that. Then they brought Coleman up, and I ain't gonna lie, bro. He looked
Coleman did
better at
look
left
good.
tackle than he did at left guard.
Coleman did look good. I definitely went back and watched it. He looked good last night.
Look comfortable or like confident. I don't know what the word is, but
A little bit of both.
yeah.
I mean, he did play left tackle for most of last season though. All right.
I think Radar said in the chat, I think one of his issues is speed rushers, and you don't see too many.
Yeah.
They don't really have that really in Kansas City.
Yeah.
So we'll know more if he has to play again. But at least for the most part, he does well against like bull rush and stuff like that. So he did well.
Which, speaking of which, can I have a quick sidebar, please?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can we please, I want the Cliff Kings, but whoever got to hear this, can we please get Josh Connolly some help? Because, and this is the thing, right? I understand he's played almost entirely at left tackle for most of his career prior to being here. I get it. I know he's young and a rookie playing against the best pass rushers in the world. I get it. In my mind, there's nothing wrong with helping him if he needs help. I would rather you chip every single offensive snap than let him get his doors blown off or get bull rushed and pushed back into the pocket. Help him. Help. I'm not saying you got to double team every play, but if that's chip, if that's move the pocket, if that's slide protection so that he's not the weak link, however you got to do it, do it. But can we please get the young brother some help out there? Please stop leaving him on the island by himself. Yeah. Because it always seems to be like at the worst time where he either blows an assignment or he's one-on-one with the top rusher on that team, whatever team it is that week, and he loses the rep badly. It's always something.
So he allowed, if we believe PFF, he allowed 1 sack, 4 hurries, 5 pressures. Pass block 57.6, scale of 1 to 100. 0 to 100, and run block 64.1. A little bit better at run blocking.
So he was right around average, basically.
A little less. I think average is like 70. And
so a little less than average. Okay.
Yeah. So
this is where I'm curious at too. This kind of goes with the whole Adam Peters thing. Mm-hmm. And there's nothing wrong with double dipping at these positions, right? Like at tackle, wide receiver, getting a corner, getting an edge rusher. Like you can never have too many of those. But what I find this interesting, I think it's going to have a big concern/domino effect when it comes to the offseason is last year you had Brandon Coleman, you drafted him in the 3rd round. You had him playing tackle. And, he played tackle his first year. And, of course, there were some things that they liked, but there were some things that they didn't like. So, the plan was for him, if they were to find a left tackle that can be in that spot, there was conversations about him going to the right side. Well, you traded for Larry Tunsil. You traded a large amount of assets, and I will say, I think we can all agree that Tunsil has paid off with those investments because he has been as advertised.
Yeah.
But then you go in the draft and you draft a Josh Connerly, who was a left tackle. You shift him to right tackle, and you're putting Coleman inside. And that was the plan for that offensive line, especially when Cosby come back. But then Coleman once again gets an injury, and then he gets back in the lineup. He did not look good. Like literally the first 2 weeks. Was it the first 2 weeks that he played?
Coleman.
Yeah, and then he got benched. He got benched for like week 3, I
I think
think.
he got benched in the Raiders game. I think that was I think he either got benched in or for the Raiders game. I don't remember which one. I think that was what, week 3 before.
Yeah, I think it was one of those games. But so now you're looking at this offensive line, and then like Chris Paul has stepped in, and played fantastically well.
Shout out Chris Paul.
Shout out to Chris Paul. But now I'm very curious to what is going to be the vision in terms of, because are you going to sign Chris Paul to an extension while still having Brandon Coleman like just on the bench? I mean, I feel like that's kind of counterproductive, especially where he was drafted at. It's almost very similar to, when we talk about Ben Sinnott. You drafted him second round, but you still have Ertz. And right now, like, kind of know what Ertz is. He's just a guy that's going to get open, but you still want to see what you have with some of these players. Like, kudos to some of the players that have stepped up this year, especially Luke McCaffrey with the many opportunities he had. But now you're trying to see these spots on this roster, and for the future, I think Coleman is a huge question mark for me heading to next year.
Yeah, I'm with you, DT. I think drafting Coleman, trading for Tunsil, and by the way, Coleman I think was a 3rd round pick, right?
Coleman was a 3rd round pick. Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so you draft. I mean, that's, by the way, great value. The way he played in 2024, he balled out for a 3rd round rookie. But so you drafted him, you trade for Tunsil, you draft Connolly in the 1st, you move Connolly to the right side. Never ever played on the right side unless you want to count Senior Bowl, and you gave up a haul for Tunsil. Haul. Yeah, and then all of a sudden Coleman is now out, inactive, not even playing, not even backing up until week 8.
Mm-hmm.
It does feel a little counterproductive, and it's kind of, because you don't want to lose someone of that caliber, young rookie, rookie deal. Respect to Chris Paul. I don't know how old he is. I think he's 29, 28. Like,
nah, Chris Paul ain't even that old. I think Chris Paul like 26, 27.
Yeah, he's early. Okay, so but like still, I'm glad you have that opportunity to have that competition. But do you do that, all of that, versus maybe spreading that out a little bit around other position groups, getting you Luther Bird there. You have some other opportunities there in the end of the 1st, and I get BPA. I'm not sure what they're doing with that. And I get protect your asset like Jaden. You won't have injuries. Got it. I just feel like that probably was a little bit of a weird move in hindsight.
In hindsight, for sure. I'm trying to see the vision, because like I know Alec Reddy's contract is coming up this year, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
this year. So I mean,
this
maybe
I think this is it.
So if it's not this year, then next year. But maybe they're looking. No, Alec Reddy was signed by Ron, right?
No, he's our guy. I think
AP?
it's a short. It's a nothing deal.
I know it's 2 or 3 years. Either way,
and it's low money.
Yeah, so I mean, maybe they're looking at it there. They can move on from Alec Reddy, and then Coleman either way, he can either start or be a backup. He's played everything but center between college and the NFL, so he's capable of moving around. I don't know. Like again, in hindsight, it's like you could have done something else with it. But I also think that like most of us kind of assume Chris Paul wouldn't be here very long for like the last 2 years
That's true.
maybe. And even in preseason, he didn't always show well in preseason. Didn't always show well in camp. When he went in the game, most of us were like, "Oh, hell, Chris Paul out there." It just so happens that he went out there and was like, "Oh, I don't know where that came from, but keep doing it." So part of it is like I don't think they expected Chris Paul to be doing what he's doing. That's also could factor into it. But yeah, in hindsight, so hindsight is 2020, right? So you're definitely looking at like probably could have did something else, especially when you look at where we're lacking elsewhere now. Again, tight end, receiver, linebacker, edge rusher, safety. Like, there's plenty of other places that we probably could have used that pick for somebody that could be, producing right now. But at least we have him. If we didn't have Coleman, who knows? We'd be playing Trent Scott at left tackle right now with Tunsil out. So
That's very true.
True.
Um,
True.
Yeah, I think it's just an interesting combo just to think about as the season starts to do it out. But the coaches, what were y'all initial thoughts with the coaching Monday? Offense, defense, and special teams.
I think Cliff Kingsbury gets in these modes where how can I say this? Cliff has and we've all seen it. I said it earlier, but Cliff has a bad habit of continuing to run plays that aren't working, and it's not necessarily it's not like he's setting it up, or at least not that I've seen so far. Right? He's running a lot of screens that aren't working. He's running, certain running plays that are not working, even certain passing plays that are not working. He just keeps going back to them again and again and again. And I think that's kind of like those are his comfort plays. Every coach kind of has them, like, I don't like it. I've told y'all on here, I've told y'all elsewhere, I'm not a big screen fan. Cliff loves them, and I know they can be an extension of the run game, especially when the run game is not working. It just wasn't there last night, and he just kept running them and kept running them and kept running them. And the only person who really had any kind of success with it was Jeremy McNichols. Like I said, I think Debo finished with 11 yards, and I think all of that was in the first quarter. Everything else he got was, if he did get another positive gain, it was changed, but 3 plays later by a negative gain on the slant. On a screen. I keep saying slant. I just think that's a habit that Cliff has to break, man. It's because if something's not working, it's okay to not call it. Even if it's worked before, it's okay to, all right, cool, we're gonna stash that one for later on. Because like I said, so far I haven't seen it like he's setting stuff up with some of these play calls, even when they aren't working. So that is an annoying thing. I wish Cliff would change, and he just kept doing it last night. Defense, I would love to, I would love to listen. The defense wasn't that bad last night. I know we gave up 28 points. They weren't that bad last night. There are still things that were bad within the defense, but the defense as a whole was not bad. They were getting, especially in the first half, they were getting pressure on Patrick Mahomes. They were making him throw errant passes, move around the pocket, which he doesn't really like to do. The secondary played well for the most part. The intermediate level of defense, again, failed them largely. And it's just, again, making someone do something that they can't do. It's there were plenty of times last night, and I hate that I have to keep saying that, where Bobby Wagner did exactly what he was supposed to do. But Bobby Wagner in a zone on any player in that Chiefs offense is a mismatch. It just is. So obviously the defense, the call is what the call is, and if they call a passing play, you got to cover somebody. But it's clearly that was not working. It's not going to work. Special teams, cool. Special teams. No issue on special teams.
Well, wasn't the coach's fault, but Jalen Lane That was a bad series. That was that on would that have been a safety if it went in the back in the end zone and out of the end zone, or
I don't think so.
okay?
I think it
I
would have
wasn't
been a
sure what the new
touchback.
rules. I'd be confused.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out because every week somebody does something different. Oh, that they can do that, or they can't do that, or that's that. Yeah, but if I'm not mistaken, if it goes into the end zone and then out of bounds, I think it's a touchback. I think.
Yeah,
Quote
that
me
was
on that
really
because I'm not sure.
close. If true, that's because it went right at like the 2-yard line. Anyway,
Yeah,
that was a bad. That was, but anyway, like
Yeah, bad mistake.
the only addition I'll say to that is, back in football 101, they say you run a screen to slow down the pass rush, and I didn't. Were we afraid of the Chiefs' pass rush or aggressiveness? I don't know. I know Spags, he does like to blitz a little bit, so maybe a little bit of that, trying to figure out what they were going to do in the first 15. But it was like we were spamming like Debo. At one point, and I don't know if it was the first half or second half, we had a same thing, screen pass to Luke. That was almost picked, or a
that was
second
that was in the
pick.
second half.
Remember
That
that
was in the second
second
half.
half? Okay.
Yeah,
It was just like they were just sitting and waiting for it at that point.
yeah,
So I feel like, to your point, Breeze, you do that to set something up. You do that to slow the pass rush down, and then they started loosening up, and then you run the ball, right? Like something like that. But I didn't see the setup. Like I
right.
didn't see what was the net? What were we trying to like create, or what were we trying to like build up to in order for that to be successful? And I never saw the next step. We went downfield twice. That's it. And one was a broken play because Terry didn't keep running or something like that. So
Yeah,
I didn't.
yeah.
I never saw like loosening up. Like the defense never loosened up. They stayed
No,
like crunched up in the middle for the most part. And then we had a couple of positive, but it was like everything had to be perfect. It
yeah.
reminded me a little bit of the championship game last year against the Eagles. If y'all remember that very first drive, we went like 16 plays. We got a field goal. Like, and every play was like we were like trying, like we were literally just inching our way. I think it was 2 4th down calls, and then the third 4th down call we ended up actually actually hitting the field goal. So like that's what kind of reminded me we were just not able to like do anything downfield, intermediate. It was all just like 5, 7, 3, yards, run, pass, whatever it was. And so I don't know, man. We to your earlier point, DT, bro, we need another weapon, man.
So my coach mind is over here thinking, and I don't know how many coaches have this kind of foresight, if you will, in the moment. But maybe it's just a minute. It got to a point during the game where they kind of realized, okay, we're not going to win this game. We're not going to come back. It is what it is, right? Maybe you keep running the screen to put it on tape to set something up in a future game. I don't know. It's possible,
Yeah,
right?
it's
That
possible.
the next game, Seattle maybe or Denver or somebody, in the near future, they see him throwing that many screens, they give him that look, and then they, set up fake the screen, go deep, maybe like maybe there's something to that, but as far as in the moment, like it was clearly not working, and like we all saw, like, there was no that we could, at least that we could see. And again, I haven't watched the all 22 film or anything like that, but that we could see in the moment, there was nothing being set up. It was just like, let's get the ball out and let them hopefully do something. And they weren't, like I said, like you said, CeeLo, 35, I don't remember his name. He was one step away from jumping in front of that screen and going the other way with it. Like he was literally just like, I dare you to throw this ball over here. And he just, like, if Luke didn't work his way back to the football, he probably still intercepts that football.
That
So
one play, the Terry touchdown, was that a broken play? Was that a play?
I think that was broken because Marcus was running for, like, that was it was an 11-yard play. Marcus was running around for a while.
I don't think it was broken. I think he more extended it, and then
Well, yeah.
because they were running crossers in the red zone, and they all were following whoever was supposed to follow. But the floater was just so ugly. I thought he was throwing it out of bounds. Like
Me
what?
too.
But when I haven't seen it. I haven't seen the replay, but it just felt like I could see that being a play, right? You roll left, you bring the whole defense and then you loft it all the way on the other side. Like to your point, DT, it was ugly, but he was open. I mean, he was actually open for probably another half of 1 second. It just took forever to get there and made it so difficult.
Yeah, and he threw like a high floater. Like
Oh,
I just knew
it was a Russell Wilson special.
I knew he was putting that ball in the fifth row. Like I knew he was throwing that ball out of bounds, bro. Like I'll take it, but listen, it was for as long as that play seemed to take, it was literally an 11. Stat wise, it was an 11-yard touchdown, and it seemed like it was like a 30-yard, like it was like a 30-yard play. It seemed like it was like so. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's the one thing I'll say about Cliff, and look, I get it. I understand his background, the air raid, being shotgun, pistol formations, RPOs, all that good stuff. I mean, that's also the offense that Jaden has run. But I do think, and I'm not trying to sound like an old timer when I say this, I do think we may need to see a little bit more under center. And here's why I say that. Because not only under center, it will bring a diversity to the playbook and the play calling, but this is also be another way to protect Jaden from himself. And I say that because with play action under center, your back is the defenders are looking at the back of the quarterback. Sometimes it's hard to tell from a linebacker or safety standpoint if the quarterback, when he's given the ball, if it's play action. And they're trying to make sure it's like, oh, okay, where'd the ball go? And it pops off of run maybe 8 to 9 yards. When you're in pistol, when you're in center, they're looking right at you.
You only do this, but so many times.
And they see the fake. And I think establishing the run, which will also running the football from under center, whether it's a toss play, whether it's a dive, whether it's a duo, I think that will help as well. I think we need to see a little bit more diversity within, Cliff's offense. I'm not trying to tell him to run under center every single time, but I just think from a perspective from me watching college football, and I know from my Buckeyes do it, we've run a lot of under center stuff as well in recent past with Ryan Day, and has run some diversity into the offense because now a lot of people will see it's like, oh, it's about to be a shot play. Well, now we can run the football from this formation.
But I think a lot of – go ahead, so.
Just real quick, do y'all think – so is that a function of defenses kind of a lot of offenses have nothing but I don't think Pat ran one thing under center yesterday. So do you feel like defensive coordinators are really kind of keying in on Cliff and how he's running his offense, whether Jaden, Marcus, whoever, and so maybe Cliff needs to diversify that part, or do you just think overall in general he just needed to go under center just to give your offense a little bit more diversity, a little bit more color?
I think both, because right now where we're at with the run game is, while yes, the skill position needs to play better and they need to get better separation, the run game has completely been stalled out, whether it is how the offensive line is pulling. We also have to keep in mind this is Cosby literally his second game back from the ACL, so it might take some time. So this is literally the third guard that Connolly is going to be working alongside with this whole season. So there has not been no continuity with the starting five, so that needs to work. Sometimes I was watching a game too. It could be like a block that John Bates or Ben Sinnott, when they're getting pulled, they're not either getting to the guy that they're supposed to get to, or they're being blown up from, because Biada's being pushed all the way in the back, which runs to the tight ends, and that makes Bill have to shuffle his feet. So little stuff like that, I think, and like, I'm not gonna bring it up, but when you see what the Shanahan's do, I was about to say the other guy name. I'm not gonna say his guy. Y'all know who I'm gonna say. But when you see what Shanahan does with the play action, the bootlegs and stuff like that, that helps. That helps that run game. That helps the passing game. That helps the offensive line.
Yeah, not just that. You can still run a lot of the same plays. It's just like to me, it's just about giving the defense a different look. You can, as far as zone run, or if you want to. Most teams don't actually call like whatever hole is supposed to go to, whatever gap. But like you can still theoretically run a lot of those same plays out of. You can run the same running play out of under center, pistol, and shotgun. It'll look differently, but the play itself is ultimately the same play. I like the idea of going under center. Just again, not saying that they need to go. I formation 23. That like you ain't got to do all that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not saying that we got to look like Joe Gibbs and them back in the day. But I just think it does give the defense a different look, and I feel like a lot of coordinators, not just in the NFL but across all levels of football, have taken the spread offense and just gotten lazy with it. And they just run everything out of spread, everything out of shotgun, everything is 3-4 wide. There's not a lot of variation until you get into close quarters and confined distance, and now you gotta, you tighten it up a little bit. But I think it's made people get a little bit lazy. I think we're benefiting Jake,
Yeah, I think the theory behind that was that, quarterbacks coming out of high school, college, they just didn't feel comfortable going down the center very often. And so coordinators just started to accommodate that. But we all know at this point, Jay can go on the center just fine. He got no problem going on the center.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Marcus can too. So it's up to Cliff to incorporate that more often, I guess, at this point. It ain't really a quarterback limitation at this point. It's him if he wants to do that. But that's a good point. That's a good conversation, DT. I didn't think about it like that.
Yeah, and defensive coaching. I like the personnel moves, but I like what they did personnel wise. Maybe outside of Tyler Owens. Tyler Owens definitely struggled in coverage and stuff. But it's just a lot of it to me is more on the personnel we have, but this is the personnel through 2 years we've been already that they assembled. But it shouldn't have taken this long to simplify certain things. And I think what it was, the main reason why we lost the game was, like I said, the defense came out hot. The pass rush started to hit early, but not having that number one guy that can be a game changer on the defensive front, not having above average linebackers that can play sideline to sideline and understand their duties. The corners, I think the corners were fine to me, but it was not having the one guy edge rusher. Linebackers were very mixed, especially Bobby Wagner was struggling. And then the safety spots in terms of dialing back that communication, passing all plays like, hey, where you supposed to be here? Because, the one play with Xavier Worthy, a lot of people are going to try to say Quan, but me personally, I think that was more on Trey Amos. That probably the only time.
It was definitely on Trey Amos. To me.
Yeah.
And that's the second or third time that's happened with him specifically. When he's playing well, he's great. But I have seen him miss communication several times, and the end result is usually that exact same thing happened. It happened against the Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
Like they motioned over, Jeremy Reed tried to pass him off, and he never saw it. And you get, I think it was Kyle Pitts wide open. Like,
Yeah, but I
Yeah.
just think the defense just lost juice after the first half because they gave it all, but then the Kansas City offense, they made adjustments and they just started to click at the right time.
Man, that was just Pat being Pat. I remember, I mean, a couple times second half, they were secondary was locking it in. He had nowhere to go. He just rolled out to his left, rolled out to his right, scramble drill. Just scramble
yeah,
drill. That's it.
and
And boom.
it
It was,
was
I mean, play
the
after play after play after play.
like the success of the defense in the first half is what led to, like you said, they made the adjustments because when you had Jacob Martin and some of those guys getting home, they adjusted. They had Travis Kelce sitting in the block a lot of times, at least the chip, and what happened is the secondary is covering. They made those adjustments. The O-line is now holding up better. Patrick Mahomes is sitting there. He's extending the play. And now, you got a tight end leak out. You get a running back leak out. You drop it off, and there's nobody out there. And,
Yep.
like I said, they adjusted better than we adjusted, if we adjusted at all. Or they adjusted to us, and then we didn't make the adjustments to that adjustment.
I think what's frustrating, and I know Joe Wood and DQ gonna get a lot of flack because of coaching and whatever, but we knew our needs going into the offseason. We don't work in Redskins. Oh, I'm sorry. We don't work in Commanders or whatever it's called now. In Ashburn, well, we can tell you what the needs were on defense. It was a defensive end that is, darn near a game record, someone you can rely on, and that can at least be that guy. DA was close. Dorrance Armstrong was having a good year. But, building around that is what we expected. They never got that. They got, DA came back. They got a 54-year-old Von Miller, and some other cats. And that was our plan. Our plan was to bolster the run defense like it's 1985. And the opposing coordinator said, "Oh, okay, I'm just going to run around you." Like, what? And then now our run defense isn't even good anymore. Or let's say it's declining because they're figured out that we can't go sideline to sideline. Bobby can't get there. And Louvu, when he was playing his regular before the day, last night, he was playing his regular, weak sideline, but back in position. He couldn't get there. He was there because he was missing. Like, he was missing a lot of tackles. So you had yak and you had missed tackles. So I just feel like we overcompensated for the run game piece and never accounted for the speed piece. Where you look at Kansas City, bro, you look at Nick Bolton and bro, everywhere up the middle, A gap, B gap, C gap. He was everywhere. You needed to run the football. You couldn't go anywhere, even in the short screen game that we were providing to them. It helped them. They were like right there. So we don't have the speed element was never addressed in the offseason. It was all about stopping the run up the middle, which to me is incredible. Like,
don't get me wrong. The run defense was god awful in large part last year, but I do agree with you that they definitely went way too deep into trying to bolster the run defense and just assume.
Yeah.
Oh no, they'll be all right. They'll be all right by then. Like, and
it was, yeah. I don't know. And Bobby is just like, so you think about that, Bobby and his limitations. Coordinators are smart. It took them 1 year to matter of fact, I can't say that. They were bad last year too, right? Run game, pass, everything was bad. So you carry it over to this year, improve the run game, but you still have those same deficiencies. We drafted Amos, so one side is better, and then you got Marshawn. So you just have a lot of still very obvious holes on the edges where the speed really, really shows. If a guy if he hits the outside, we can't get there.
yeah,
we just can't get there. So we never really addressed that. And I think that's the fresh. We all knew these things in April and May, and it never got fixed till March, April, May. So
I mean, we knew it before. Like we were saying this, not us, but as a fan base, like
it's a base. Yeah.
debating it, that even before Dante Fowler left, that we still needed a better pass rusher. You know, we you know, they clearly banked on Mikey taking a step forward, and he's now regressed. Um, Pick your poison on Marshawn. Trey Amos, great pick. Excuse me. They clearly banked on Will Harris replacing Jeremy Chin almost 1-to-1, and he's now out for the season. Like, I don't think like, again, we all love Revo, but like you can't tell me they went to the season like, oh yeah, that's cool. If he can't play, we got Revo back there. Like, love him to death, but we gotta be real. Mind you, he had a great game last night.
Yeah, he was balling last night.
But in general, like if you've been watching, I mean, for years, again, no diss to Jeremy Reed, but you know who and what he is as a safety. There's a reason he was a special teams demon. Because he wasn't really worth very much on defense, which is sometimes it's just how it shakes out. That's fine. But for you to put all your eggs into that basket, like I said, this team was clearly built on the idea that nobody was going to get hurt. Or minimal people would get hurt. And the minute bodies started falling,
right there.
It's like we playing with the replacements at this point. Like you're down to fourth and fifth string edge rushers. You know, like I don't know if they put Frankie Louvu at edge because of giving him less responsibility or the fact that we have no edge rushers or maybe a combination of both. I don't know, but yeah.
I think it was the lack of pass rushers. I think I read somewhere that was the most he played edge since his rookie year with the Jets.
Yeah.
And we just don't have much. I kind of liked it. I liked him. He actually got some pressure. I don't think he's a good edge setter because they did go around. Like he went around him a couple times in the second half. But initially, I thought he played well. And then they had McGee in his spot, in his original outside linebacker spot. And so you kind of had a nice little, speed there with McGee. You had the old, you got the green dot, with Wagner. I kind of didn't mind that matchup for now. It just couldn't sustain itself for all four quarters. So
yeah, I mean, the only concern I have with that is Frankie playing exclusively edge. I saw yesterday, once it got to like in the middle of the third or fourth quarter that, his get off started to diminish and he wasn't able to rush the passer as much. So that has to be somewhat snapcat as well because you don't want to overuse him, despite the fact knowing that McGee is going to be taking his spot.
This is Bob we talking about?
No, wow. This is Louvu.
Okay.
All the snaps he played at edge, you could tell like he was getting worn down.
Oh yeah.
I mean, especially think about the third and fourth second half, man, they were dropping back. I mean, they did run the ball a few times, got some good yards. I think they ran over 120 yards, 130 yards. Actually, no, 150 yards. But the pass rushing was crazy. Like he was dropping back a lot and he was scrambling and that just wears you out as a defensive line player or lineman.
Yeah. But we don't have we don't have the youth to be chasing Patrick Mahomes around for 8 seconds of play. Like this defense, especially the front seven, whatever, that will kill this defense.
Hey, shout out to Jacob Martin.
Older.
Shout out to Jacob Martin.
Jacob Martin went out there and said, "Listen,
he was balling."
Yeah. I love to see it. And I mean, and Jacob Martin showed that in the preseason. He showed it like in training camp. I don't know what's taking so long to get him on the field, but he's been showing that since he's been here. I mean, I know why he's on the field now, obviously, but yeah, I mean, maybe I don't have a very big foul on Jacob Martin, but I would imagine he probably should have been on the field a lot earlier. Maybe he would have been making a little bit of a difference. I don't know.
I think he was, but he was more of like an edge setter, if I'm not mistaken. He
Yeah.
wasn't really like going crazy on third downs like we had him going, yesterday.
Yeah.
But
He gonna be out there
balled
now. He gonna be out
Sure
there
will.
now.
All
Right,
right.
yeah.
So where we at with this game coming up on Sunday?
Mhm.
Breeze, it's
It's
gonna be a
winnable.
quick. It's gonna be a
It's
quick. It's gonna be a quick pregame tailgate.
Oh yeah, man. I'm not finna be out there from 2, 3 o'clock. I'm not doing all that. Yeah. I think it's a winnable game. Will we win? But can they win? Yes. Um,
Do you think Jaden plays this week?
yes, I do. I think he plays.
Kind of iffy though.
I do think they run a very. I don't think you see Jaden run very much, if at all. I think they run a very scaled back version of the offense in that regard. Um, but I think he does play though, only because you know, technically speaking, right at 3-5, the season is still salvageable, right? Whether you think it can be salvaged is a different conversation, but it is mathematically salvageable at 3-5. If you drop to 3-6 now, with some of the games they have coming up, like we're just now getting into like the hard part of our season. Still have a boatload of division games to play. And they've lost a lot of NFC games already. It's like, yo, we need to put the best team we can put on the field at this point. So, to be honest with you, I think Jaden probably could have played last night. Like if yesterday was a playoff game, I think Jaden plays. If yesterday is week 17 and the division is on the line, I think Jaden plays. I think they looked at it as he can sit one out. He can sit one more out. Like I think that's how they looked at it. Especially playing against who they're playing. It's like whether we got Jaden or not, we probably not gonna win this game. Obviously, you would never say that, but yeah, I think Jaden will play. Based on his week of practice. Now, if he goes over there and practice and tweaks it again, they're gonna sit his ass down. But if he has a good normal week of practice, I think he plays. Especially with it being at home, they don't have to travel. It's a night game, so he gets a little extra time. We'll see how the weather looks. That could also, if it's I don't know what the forecast is right now, but if it's raining, that could affect it. If it's gonna be like really chilly at night, that could affect it because it may tighten up. But in general, I think he'll play.
CeeLo?
Well, what is Adam Peters said he might not play, but I think that was probably just opinion more than it was inside information.
Adam Schefter.
I mean, Adam Schefter. It's getting late.
He is supposed to practice tomorrow, by the way. He is supposed to practice tomorrow.
I don't know if he plays. I think he does play. I think this is what Jay Gruden used to say, Code Red. This is about as must-win of a game as there ever has been. NFC playoff hopes, more than likely, because of the way the NFC is going. I think if he does play the way that they've been treating Jaden, I think it's open book. I think they're gonna throw it all out there, leave it all out there. The problem is you might not have Terry or Debo. Just the way they ended the game. I'm just being like, just no reason, no inside information, none of that. It's just the way that Terry left the game and the way Debo looked after that one blow, that one hit he took. I was like, yeah, I don't know.
Red line broke.
Um,
Better suit up.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But I hope I'm wrong. I hope Terry's fine and Debo's fine. We at least got a fighting chance. If 1-5 is playing, DT Breeze, I'm all in. He's healthy, he's playing, we got a chance. However, Seattle ain't no punk.
Yeah. And
And so this ain't Vegas. This ain't the Giants of week one. This is they're on a heater, very good football team, top to bottom.
Yeah.
So we need Terry and Debo. We really do. I don't trust any of them dudes. I like, I think Luke is doing his thing right now. The offensive line doing their thing right now. I have zero faith in Jalen Lane. Zero. As a receiver. Handoffs, end arounds, sure. The rest of that stuff, we need help if Debo and Terry are unavailable. So
just for our next after Seattle, we have Detroit and Denver coming up. I feel like I'm missing a game in
Seattle,
between
Detroit,
Miami 5 week.
Miami,
Miami.
and Spain. And I think we have a bye.
It's a bye week after the Miami game.
But
So
Denver's in November.
And then
I mean, like
Denver's in
early
early December and in November,
early
something
December.
like that.
I mean, yeah, like you said, it's getting late. I forgot what month it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, with that, I mean, who
That's
knows
brutal,
what
bro.
version? Yeah, who knows what version of Miami you're gonna get? But that's still a very fast football team. You know how this team is with speed, and a
A-Chain.
long travel. Yeah, Jalen Waddle, like you know what I'm saying, like it's going. Yeah, like it ain't just Tyreek. Like, and I know he's done for the year. I get that, but the speed is the speed is
Still
there,
there.
dog. That speed is there. Yeah, man, that's and Detroit is trying to come in here and put the whole, I mean, belt switch and everything else. They want it. Um, so yeah, like you kind of need this. You kind of need this. Um, yeah, yeah. Like you said, I think it's all hands on deck. If you can play, suit your ass up. I think that's where they at with it. Like get dressed, get dressed. Um, we'll worry about the pitch count and all that kind of stuff. We'll let us deal with that. But if you can play, go play.
yeah. So where I'm at with it, Seattle is a good team. Top 12 offense, top 10 defense. Baker is playing at a high level. JSN is the best receiver in football right now, based on statistics and his play. With them coming to us, like it's wild out. We need Jaden. For this game, we need Jaden because at least we know he can cover some stuff up with Mario. That he has, everybody has to play perfect.
Yeah, I was just about to say. I think, and he's played admirably this year. He did great last year. I think Marcus can do enough to not lose you a game. But if you got to put the ball in his hand and say, Marcus, go win this game for us, I think you playing with fire at that point.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what happened last night, right? Like you had a drop from Zach Ertz, or you had a catch and you can't get 1 yard, Zach Ertz. You had a drop by Jalen Lane. You just had
Debo
weight, like
fumble,
no
or not
one,
fumble, but
Debo with the
yeah.
bounce and like nobody was there to help him. That's why I said I don't know what else Mark. I don't know what you wanted Marcus to do. He did everything he was supposed to do, and probably then some at his big age.
Yeah.
And I don't like. I'm not mad at Marcus, bro. I know he got two picks, but whatever. Like,
The last one, I don't even count.
yeah. So yeah, I agree. He won't lose you the game. Giving him a week of practice, continue to get comfortable. But I'd much rather. I mean, if Jaden can go he at least gives you a little bit of like room for error, and you can still, you can still move the football. You can still, do some things that you just can't teach. So,
Yeah.
Alrighty. So this is a big game Sunday, and gratefully, I do think Jaden plays, but it's I think this probably a nerve-wracking game here coming up Sunday, y'all. It's a lot gonna be on the line. And you want to have any type of competent season, you have to win this game coming up this Sunday before it all goes away. So, any final thoughts before we go ahead and close it out for tonight, man?
Don't embarrass me. Midnight, we on prime time again. Don't.
You got embarrassed in all the national stats so far.
I
Outside the Bears game.
I don't even look at last night as embarrassing, to be honest with you. The Dallas game was embarrassing. I don't look at last night as embarrassing because nobody in their right mind picked us to win that game. Jaden wasn't playing. Terry was playing hurt. Seeing the defense, it's the Chiefs. No, they older, a little slower. They still the Chiefs. So I don't look at last night as embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, last year earned us a lot of nationally televised football games this year, and we do not have a nationally televised football team right now. So first things first, please don't embarrass me. Second thing, just fight, bro. Just fight. Like, it's football. Don't overcomplicate it. Don't overthink it. Just go play football. Well, maybe overthink defense a little bit, because just think a little bit harder than you've been thinking. Don't overthink it. Just a little bit harder than you've been thinking, because there's still some bad stuff going on in the middle parts of it. But yeah, man, just lace up and go play ball. You at home, prime time, division. Oh, I'm sorry, a conference game. All eyes on you, like. And they bringing the jerseys back. This is what y'all wanted, right? The jerseys are back. You cannot go out there in them uniforms and get embarrassed. You can't do it. Can't do it. Can't do it. Please, don't do it. Please. All I got. Please don't do it.
I have nothing else to add to that. Well said. Looking forward to the post game or the next day, because it's probably going to be a Monday. We'll do it, and
Yeah.
hopefully we rejoicing and saying one more week. That's it.
Yeah.
One more week indeed, man. Look, that's all we got for y'all tonight. Stay tuned for this week for a couple of other programs. I will be up here tomorrow with the Ins and ID podcast. We do a quick recap of the Chiefs game, talk about what things are going wrong with the team, and preview the Seattle game. Also, we'll have Interest in Lab. They'll be all NFL, talking college football as we are getting closer to the first CFP rankings and recap and preview week 9 of the NFL season. But that's all we got for y'all tonight, man. It's your boy DT, Coach Breeze. We got CeeLo. Just y'all keep your thoughts prepared for Deuce and stuff like that. We're with you, man, and everything will be all right. But we'll catch you guys next Monday after the Sunday night game against the Seattle Seahawks. We'll see you guys next week.